Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this video, we're going to be writing descriptive leads for our essays. Alright, so our learning target is to be able to write a descriptive lead for our argumentative essays on the giver, and we have three criteria for success. Number one, I know what it means to be descriptive in my writing. Number two, I can use adjectives, adverbs, vivid verbs, and descriptive language to write my lead. And number three, I can create a lead that relates to the overall topic of my essay. All right, so throughout the year, we have looked at different ways that writers can use techniques or tools to develop their ideas. And one of the things that a writer can use is descriptive language. Writers can paint word pictures in the mind of the reader in a similar way to how an artist can paint on a canvas. But artists use color, lines, and shapes, while writers use words. So an example of being descriptive with your words would be some of the examples on the right side of the screen. On the left side, we're going to see just a boring old sentence. Alice was reading in her room. Not very descriptive. Somebody might picture a room that's very different from what the person sitting next to them is picturing because the details and the descriptions are lacking. Now, to make it descriptive, you would need to add the adjectives, the adverbs, the figurative language, the vivid verbs, like on the example on the right. Sunlight streamed through the bedroom window as Alice curled up on her flowered bedspread with her favorite book. All right, so you can see use of verbs like streamed, specifically where the location is, bedroom window. You can see Alice is curled up, again, a vivid verb. Her flowered, adjective, describing the bedspread. And then it's her favorite book. It's not just a book. So just through those adjectives and vivid verbs, and specific details about her room, we have a more vivid descriptive picture of that initial sentence. Here's another example. We live in a nice house. All right, so again, one person's going to picture maybe a pink house with drapes on the window, and somebody else might picture a white house, because again, nice is kind of vague and there's not a lot of description. But we can rewrite this to be a descriptive lead. We live in a white frame house. Again, you got adjectives with green shutters that sits back from the road. So here you have a much more descriptive location of the house on a grassy hill, adjective. And what does the hill look like? It is dotted with tall trees. So again, you've got vivid verb and another adjective. All right, so one of the things that we always want to do with our essays, we want to start with some kind of engaging sentence or sentences that's going to hook the reader in and make them want to keep reading. Now, throughout the year, we've talked about different types of engaging leads, questions, quotes, etc. And for this essay, we're going to be looking at a descriptive lead. So you want to try to start with some kind of memorable image that's related to your topic, what your essay is about, and then use descriptive language to describe it. So here we have an example of a lead that would be used for an essay that is about world wonders and monuments. The topic is the ancient Greek monument, the Parthenon. The lead would go something like this. A barren rocky outcropping rises out of the modern city of Athens. It is called the Acropolis. On it sits the crumbling remains of the Parthenon, one of the world's most recognizable structures. In ancient times, people throughout Greece traveled to the Parthenon to gaze at its brightly painted friezes and its magnificent sculptures. All right, so here you can see that the description has lots of adjectives: barren, rocky, outcropping, rising. You've got the verb. You've got modern city for an adjective to describe Athens. You have crumbling remains, again, adjective to describe the Parthenon. And then you have down here, people traveling to the Parthenon. They gaze at its brightly painted friezes and its magnificent sculptures. So all of this is very specific, very descriptive. Now, the reason a descriptive lead is so powerful is that it allows readers to picture in their minds the massive and beautiful structure that's in Athens, and they're likely to want to learn more about its history and its importance. All right, so now for this particular assignment, we're writing about the giver. So in order to come up with your lead, you need to think about the book and what is a memorable scene or Another way to approach it is to think about a theme from the novel that you could describe in detail as the opening of your essay. So if my essay is about the community being utopia, what scene from the novel best shows the utopian nature or quality of the community? I can then describe that scene as the opening sentences. So I have a few that I came up with. I could write the sharing of feelings at dinner. I could describe the ceremony of 12, or I could describe the house of the old and volunteers taking care of the elderly. That's a pretty perfect world, making sure that the elderly are taken care of and loved. All right, so I'm going to do the sharing of feelings. Imagine sitting around the dinner table with your family. A delicious meal lays before you, soothing the hunger you feel from a hard-working day at school. A troubling feeling is weighing down on you, caused by an event that happened during the mid-morning meal. Luckily, it's time for the sharing of feelings. In hushed tones, you reveal to your loving family what happened and how you feel. Your anxiety floats away as they help you work through the burdensome emotions. You are at peace once again. Sounds too good to be true? All right, so that was the end of my lead, and now I'm actually starting to transition. I'm connecting my lead to what my specific essay is about. Sounds too good to be true? Not if you're lucky enough to be living in a utopian society, like the one described by Lois Lowry in her novel, The Giver. So here you see how I take what I wrote about in this opening scene and I connect it to the book that my essay is going to be about. Lowry describes, and here I would continue my intro with a little summary of the novel, just 1 or 2 sentences, and then that summary would lead into my thesis statement. All right, so now it's time to practice. Again, think about the novel The Giver. Choose a memorable scene or theme from the novel that you can describe, or, as another option, describe the day-to-day life of a utopian or dystopian society, just in general. What do you want your readers to imagine? So imagine you are living in, and then describe the world for them and make it sound like a utopia. Or imagine you're living in, and then again, you don't even need to use the word dystopia, just describe what their life is like. Describe for them living in a dystopia. And then, the way I connected my lead to The Giver, add a sentence or 2 in the middle of the paragraph to start to connect what you described to Jonas's community. So go into your Google Drive accounts and come up with that descriptive lead.